Howdy folks, Rudrose here, and today I'm going to be talking about the rotation that is coming up for Set 9 Fabled in Disney Lorcana. Now this is something I have been against ever since I've heard about it, and I've kind of alluded to it in other videos as well as on a few streams, but I wanted to put all my thoughts in one concise place and explain why, personally, I think this rotation is bad for Lorcana. So I hope you enjoy this. Catch you up to speed quickly in case you haven't heard this for some reason, but you follow Lorcana. Lorcana will be instituting rotations starting with Set 9 Fabled, and what that means is the first 4 sets of the game, which would be First Chapter, Rise of the Floodborn, Into the Inklands, and Ursula's Return, will all rotate out of standard core constructed play, and the only sets that will be legal will be sets 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So 1 through 4 are going, and then 5 through 8 will still be legal until they get to set... It's in 4 block chunks, so I guess when they get to set 12, and then 5 through 8 will rotate out, and then it will just be 9 through 12 through 13. So I guess technically when 13 comes in, that's when 5 through 8 will rotate out. And as far as I can tell, feelings on this issue are all over the place. I have seen people who are excited for it. I have seen people who are kind of lukewarm on it. I've seen people who are outright against it. Personally, I'm outright against this. Now, a lot of my points will be about this particular form of rotation that they are considering, and I want to make that point clear. They are considering this. Ravensburger, if you are listening to this, this is my final plea to you. It is not too late to change your mind on this. You have the ability. So first and foremost, simply, it's just too early. This is far too early in a game's lifespan to introduce rotation with as few sets as we have. I'm going to put a link to another video from another content creator. I'm not sure how he pronounces his name, so I call him Kobac, but he is also against rotation, and in this video, if you want a more detailed breakdown of it, he actually did the math and planned out the dates of all the sets, and he shows you how long each set will be in constructed play. And the latest sets, sets 4 and 8, or in this case it would be Reign of Jafar and Ursula's Return, they will only be in the game for, I think, about a year and a half, not even 2 years. That's 2 sets of a trading card game that are not even valid and standard legal for 2 years. That's so low. That is way too low, and it is way too quick. I really wouldn't want this rotation, period, but I would be way less against it if it was a longer period. Personally, I think they should do it in blocks of 12. So I think they should go all the way to set 12, and then if they absolutely have to do this, you can rotate out starting with set 13, and then you take off the first 4 blocks. And then you're stuck with you have, 8, 9 blocks still to work with of sets. Whereas currently, once Fabled hits, you're going to only have 5 sets of cards. That's so tiny. Only the very first set in a rotation block, so in this case it would be the First Chapter, or Shimmering Skies, I believe, is the 5th set. Those will have the longest lifespan, which is just about 2 years, maybe like a day or 2 longer. Like I said, go check out his video if you want the exact details, but nonetheless, it's just too early and it's too soon. The second point is that the sets were not designed for this rotation. Every bit of removal that is useful and playable and good is in sets 1 through 4. Think of the Ruby removal, Brawl, Small Sisu, Shift Sisu, the Big Sisu, Madame Medusa. Be prepared. Think of the Steel removal, Storm Rage On, Strength of a Raging Fire, Along Came Zeus, Grab Your Sword, Tinkerbell. Any removal that is worth anything is from those first 4 sets, so you are taking all of that out. All of it. That is ridiculous. You are going to kill nearly every deck in its current form. Rotation shaking things up a bit is one thing. It should not drastically change the nature of all the decks in this game. What about the characters? The entire Merlin Mim package goes away. Yes, there's some personal bias in here because I'm a Ruby Amethyst player and my deck in its current form completely implodes. This is the Ruby Amethyst list I took to 2 set championships and won both of them. And it's organized by set currently. Look at everything that goes away. Friends on the Other Side, Dragonfire, Maui, Be Prepared, all gone, all these gone. All these staples. Cusco, such an innocuous but good card, gone. Entire Merlin Mim package, gone. Tremaine, gone. Chernobog's Followers, Fishhook, Queen's Castle, gone. Broom, Peter Pan, Brawl, Sisu, all gone. What do I get to keep? I get to keep the library and Elsa and Diablo. And I currently have a 1 of Queen in there, but I mean, that's just a 1 of. So I essentially get to keep 3 cards. 3 cards. So this deck just dies and implodes in its current form. That's not okay. They shouldn't fall apart like that. Here's a Steel Song list. Ariel, Rapunzel, Whole New World, all gone. Cinderella, Queen Shift, Gaston, World's Greatest Criminal Mind, Lawrence, Storm Strength, Queen, all gone. Smee, gone. Zeus, gone. Find 'em, Flatten 'em, gone. Ariel, Sonic Singer, gone. What do you get to keep? Well, no one really plays Alan A. Dale, so cutting him out, you get to keep Daisy, Pete, and Troubadour. That's it. Again, don't get me wrong, I hate Steel Song, and the deck should be adjusted and cards should be banned, but the deck shouldn't just disappear because everything that makes it what it is gets taken away from it. Now, some people are saying, well, they've already committed to the set, it's already printed, they're going to be doing all these reprints. Well, you can still reprint cards. Unless you're a collector and you're just vastly worried about the value of your cards tanking, it's a good thing to reprint a staple Amber card like Rapunzel, that if you're playing Amber, you pretty much have to be running that card. Well, it's very expensive now, right? Because you can't get it outside of Chapter 1 or a DLC, which those aren't even occurring currently. So, yes, please reprint Rapunzel, reprint Be Prepared. I only own 4 Be Prepared. I would love to get 4 more copies so I can actually use them in other decks and not have to swap them around constantly. Reprints can make expensive cards easier to afford, but you have to reprint the good cards. We don't actually know what's getting reprinted yet. The only thing that's been reprinted in this current set was the Dalmatian Puppy Dog and the Captain Hook, which, I mean, the Hook saw some play early on, but no one really plays it anymore. No one runs the Puppy Dog unless you're running a dog deck, and we don't really know what's being announced yet for reprints either. Okay, there's the Pooh Honey Wizard. Why? Why is that card coming back? Yes, it has nice art. It is a boring vanilla card. I've never seen a company value boring vanilla cards so much. And speaking of reprints, people say, well, you know what they can do if we have that removal problem, right? That all the removal is leaving? Okay, well, we can just reprint all that, right? We got to have a way to deal with Maui Half Shark, so let's reprint all the removal. Okay, but if you then reprint all the removal, or you reprint the Merlin Mim package, do you know how happy that would make me? Like, oh, thank goodness, I still get to play the Merlin Mim package. I still get to play the Ruby Amethyst I love. But if you were to reprint all those cards, Be Prepared, surely you have to reprint that, right? Like, surely we're not going into a meta where no board wipes exist. Please, can we please not do that? If you have to reprint all these cards anyway, what is even the point of rotating? You're not actually shaking the game up. If to make it even work, you have to reprint all the cards that you're getting rid of. That doesn't make any sense, and you can tell this just wasn't planned, and they're flying by the seat of their pants with this decision. Now, this next point's quite interesting because I wrote all this out before Worlds Weekend, but I'm actually recording this after Worlds Weekend. And this initial point was that Ravensburger won't support Infinity. Well, to my surprise, they actually did announce that one of the 3 DLCs, which is still pathetic, will actually be Infinity constructed. Is this support, though? Here's my point on this. They can barely support constructed, as evidenced by the fact that we have less DLCs than ever here in North America. And what I want, though, is real support. Saying you can play Infinity at a side event as a DLC is not real support. If you're going to truly support Infinity, then when I go to my local game store, I should be able to choose between formats, right? Okay, here's the Infinity format, and then here's the core constructed format. I don't know about your game stores, mine will not support that. If there is Infinity Night, I don't know if anyone's even going to come to that, or maybe it'll be the reverse and no one will end up going to Constructed and everyone still wants to play with all their cards, and then Infinity will be the only one. So here's the question. We get those organized play promo kits sent out, right? And they've got all these nice pins right here, and they've got the promo cards and the boxes and everything else. Okay. Are those going to be shipped for the Infinity format too? If a store runs, okay, Monday night is Infinity format, Friday night is standard constructed. Is that store going to get 2 promo kits? Well, they should, right? If you're truly supporting this format, then I shouldn't feel like a second-rate citizen going to play at Infinity. If only Core Constructed is continuing to get the organized play kit, or vice versa, that only now Infinity gets it, like, then you are treating it like a second-rate citizen. So it needs an official organized play kit. You need set championships that are just Infinity format, and you need full-on tournaments. Now, they are doing that with the DLC, but I think what you actually need is a tournament scene. Like, the 3 DLCs would have made more sense if it was, okay, there will be 3 with Infinity format, and then 3 for Core Constructed. Because now there will be 2 North American Championships. Here's the Infinity format, and here's the Core Constructed. Because what you're asking players right now is to mix and match, which doesn't make any sense. That, let's say I were to somehow win my way to Top Cut and qualify for Nationals at the Infinity DLC, and now I have to play a completely different format at the actual North American Championship. That's just strange. So while I was pleased to hear that a DLC will run this format, it just feels more like they're throwing a bone and not truly supporting it. So if they're going to support it, they need to fully support it in the way I outlined. Now, for some folks out there, Rotation is what they think is going to help fix the game, right? It's boring, it's stale, it's not interesting. I get it. It's not fun to watch Steel Song sit there and do whatever they want, and any character you play to the field immediately gets obliterated. I agree, that's a problem. It's not fun. It's not fun to watch Ruby Sapphire play solitaire with all their items and all their removal and their coils that gets rid of anything on your field. If you watched Worlds and you saw those green-blue item lists that Zach Bivens and others were running, that wasn't fun to me, watching my opponent play solitaire for 5 minutes, literally just stalling the game forever until they can go Lucky Dime win in a single turn. That's not enjoyable. So I can understand if you feel, hey, rotation will solve that, right? We'll get rid of all those problem cards, all those songs I mentioned earlier, Lucky Dime, McDuck Manor, all gone. Won't have to deal with them anymore. You're right. We won't have to deal with them anymore. But guess what you will have to deal with? What's left over. And there will be a new boogeyman in the meta. Yes, there will be a 2-week window when it just happens, and you'll see the socials lighting up with everyone saying, oh, it's so fresh, it's the best Lorcana's ever felt, this is amazing, we love it. And then everyone will figure out what the best decks are out of what's remaining, and everyone will be playing Maui Half Shark or Pete Action Stoppage or whatever the best deck is. And then the cycle will repeat, and we'll also realize that, oh, wow, Half Shark was awful to deal with before. Now there's no Zeus. Now there's no World's Greatest Criminal Mind. All that removal, the few things we actually had to interact with him, that's all gone now. Well, now this card's a real terror because we have nothing to answer it with. I don't know if it will be Shark itself, but I'm just saying that there will be a new boogeyman. There will be some new, okay, these are the best decks. That's what the pro players are going to do. Do you honestly think they're just going to sit there and be like, well, you know, I don't know, I'll just kind of play with what I feel? No, they'll find, all right, what is the most efficient card draw we have if we don't have Rabbit or Brooms or whatever preferred option you have? Okay, this is the best one now. And then suddenly you're going to see the same thing. I'm so sick of deck X, Y, and Z. That's all anyone plays. The only thing that can really fix a game is good design or bans. You have to design the game around it. You can't just cut out half the card pool and just, well, it'll probably work now, right? It's appropriate I'm recording this today because Magic the Gathering is having the same issue. Now, just today, as of the time of this recording, this was their ban day. They announced a huge amount of bans. They banned 7 cards from the standard format. Why? Because it was very stale, and it was these mono red decks and Is It Prowess red-blue decks that just completely dominated the last Pro Tour in Vegas. And so they're like, all right, can't have this anymore, and they banned 7 cards. The players I knew locally were saying rotation isn't going to fix this because you could see in the rotation blocks, well, even if they lose this one card that falls out, they'll just switch to this. They'll just switch to this. So these bans were key because Magic and Wizards realized, actually this card just has to go like a rotation with them losing 1 or 2 pieces. It's just going to get replaced by this next piece, so that won't actually change anything. And now for the personally sad parts is that my personal collection is now useless. You can't see it over here, but right here to my right, and maybe I'll throw a picture up here on the screen, I have the first 8 sets of Lorcana neatly organized in their troves. It looks very nice right now, looks really good on this shelf, and you've got 4 and 4. The idea that half the collection I have spent time building and putting money into, I just am not allowed to use anymore in what will be my weekly locals, that just bums me out. That makes me not want to play the game, and it really sucks. You know what else it's done? It's prevented me from buying new cards. It's prevented me from filling out these collections. There are certain cards from the first 4 sets I only have 1 copy of, and I've thought, you know what? It's technically only $5, $10 on TCG Player. Maybe I should get it and fill out the collection. And then I pause and think, oh wait, I'm not even going to be able to use it in 2 months, so why bother? So in the past, I would be giving money to the secondary market, or I would be buying that product directly from Ravensburger, and now I don't want to, because why? What's the point? I can't use it. As if the pull rates in this game weren't bad enough, as if opening packs as the most expensive TCG I'm aware of already wasn't a bad feeling, and you want me to buy boxes of set 9, where, according to you, half this set is going to be cards I already own? Why would I do that? No, thank you. I will not be buying your boxes. And the coup de grace, and the most personal feeling of all, losing my cards, it just kills my interest. It just makes me not want to play again. As a big Final Fantasy fan, I recently signed back onto Magic the Gathering Arena to check it out, and I wanted to play with the new FF cards on there. I haven't been on Arena since March of the Machines, and my favorite deck was this Jace the Perfected Mind mill deck. Well, when I pull it up on Arena, guess what? a bunch of the cards that were in it rotated out. Half of that deck was unusable, unplayable. I loved that deck. And so when I pulled up that screen and I just saw, wow, look at all this stuff I'm not allowed to use anymore, that didn't get me excited. It didn't make me go, all right, well, let's see what I can build around it. It just made me want to quit. It just made me go, oh, well, yeah, this isn't worth it then, because all the things I cared about are no longer there. Part of what makes trading card games hard to get rid of is the investment in your personal collection. And yes, cards will become power crept and the game always gets stronger over time. I understand that. But that's an argument for 5 years down the line in 2028 or 2030. This game launched in, August of 2023? That was when it officially launched. It hasn't even been 2 years. It hasn't even been 2 years and I'm going to lose half my collection? That sucks. There's no other way around it. And it makes me feel like, well, if this is the feeling I'm going to keep getting every year or whenever these cycle in and out, why should I invest in this? It's ultimately just going to be a disappointment. Again, it's one thing if, I get a good 5-year stretch before my stuff starts to become irrelevant and cycle out. But this is just too soon. This is too soon, too early, and this is not the right way to go. And that is why I'm personally so bummed out and so not looking forward to this rotation. So, Ravensburger, if you're listening, it's my final plea. Please reconsider. You can do your reprints. Just give us more time. Just don't do this. Will anything I've said here mattered? Of course not. I'm just screaming into the void, but it's the only way I can express myself. So let me know what you think. If you are for rotation, please feel free to tell me why. I would love to hear your opinions. And I genuinely mean, I hope it's great for you. I hope it's awesome. But if you're like me and you're just dreading it or think it's not even going to fix anything, please also share that below. I appreciate you watching. Feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, take care.